everybody, Lord Tremendous here. Got another battle report here for you. 2,000 point battle. Warriors of Chaos versus Wood Elves. This is my buddy Rathgar playing his main army at the moment, Wood Elves. He's got a slightly different list than last time we ran into each other, and it's looking like it's going to be a really good fight. So sit back, relax, and get ready to see the carnage.
Here's my list, and yes, I've made some more tweaks, some more changes, just adapting, learning, a little chaos craziness. I've got 991 points in characters because, chaos champions are expensive. I've got a Chaos Lord, Lord Audacious, and you'll see why. At 435 points, he's my general, Mark of Nurgle. He's on a mana core, he's got a flail, a shield, Favor of the Gods, Brazen Collar, Talisman of the Carrion Crow, and Enchanting Aura. So what I've learned after playing multiple games is I want something to send into my enemy to punch them straight in the throat. And Lord Audacious is my solution to that. Now, I don't know if I like his kit exactly the way it is. Nurgle makes sense. A Manticore is just a poor man's dragon. Let's be honest. Not the same saves, not the same punch, but it's still a monster. I know, monster's creature, not a behemoth, but I just kind of like it better, and it feels less like a crutch. And it's also over 200 points cheaper, like in total with everything said and done. So I'm happier with this idea than an actual full-blown dragon. I gave him a flail, and hear me out. With the Talisman of the Carrion Crow, he's got a 3 times save plus poison. And in the first round of combat, he'll be Strength 7, and then Strength 5 at a minimum, AP 2. And really, it's like a cheap biting blade. Yeah, I don't get my shield in combat, but if you're hitting me in combat, you've earned it. Favor of the Gods for obvious reasons, and the Brazen Collar in case he's too far away to get magic defense. Enchanting Aura, because when I'm in combat, I want to swing first, damn it. I thought about taking, the Ogre Blade, but it feels like such a crutch, and I know it's a great item that's way under cost and all that stuff, but I wanted to be a little bit more defensive with this guy, so the Talisman of the Carrion Crow just makes more sense. Anyway, that's my idea. I don't know if I'm going to keep it. I've got my Sorcerer Lord still, Lord Tremendous. He's 360 points. He's on a demonic mount. I took him out of his car. He doesn't have the chariot anymore. I know he can be Killing Blowed. I know he's less toughness. I know all that stuff. But I like him on the mount because it's going to deter me from charging him into combat unless absolutely necessary, because I want to use him like a machine gun. I don't want him in combat unless, I absolutely have to. So he's on a demonic mount, gives him a little bit further running and 360 line of sight. So I like that a lot. Plus 1 extra wound. He's a level 4 wizard with Demonology, and that's because I gave him the Mark of Chaos Undivided with the spell familiar Tomb of Dark Gods, Ruby Ring of Ruin, and the Armor of Meteoric Iron. Basically, it gives him a re-rollable 5-up ward save in almost all situations. The Tome of the Dark Gods, I get Fleshy Abundance, I get Blue Flame, I get Acquiescence, I'm thinking, and I can also get the Summoning. The 5th spell is whatever I get in Demonology, and usually I'm just going to take, Demonic Familiars just in case. Just depends what I roll. Yeah, I really like this kit. I think that's Lord Tremendous's loadout from now on. And then, of course, we have the true hero of my entire army, my Exalted Sorcerer, the Puppet Master. On his Chaos Steed is a level 2 wizard with battle magic, and Marked Zeech. He, of course, is my Infernal Puppet carrier, because you can't leave home without it. My core is pretty much the same from my last game, 586 points with 6 Chaos Warhounds. I gave them Armored Hide. I had the points, and honestly, they're just to kind of beat chaff a little bit, but mostly they're to block charges from my Crazy Knights. I have 15 Forsaken Acorn this time because I like them. I'm toyed with doing Warriors of Chaos. I really did. I can get about the same amount. The only difference between them is they get +1 armor save, and that's if I give them shields. I didn't realize that they took the 4-up full plate option away from regular Warriors of Chaos. Somebody at GW needs their bell rang. What were y'all thinking? Chaos armor is not heavy armor. These are Warriors of Chaos. Their name is in the army list, and you make them some of the worst infantry in the game. Good thinking, guys and gals. And then I've got 6 Chaos Knights, Full Command Lances, Banner of Rage, Brazen Collar, and a Mark of Nurgle. This is just my favorite kit out for them. Is it the best? Probably not. Is it my favorite? Absolutely. And then the rest of my list consists of my special choice, which is my Dragon Ogre, who's a Shartak, great weapon, and a blackened plate. I absolutely love this model. He's amazing. And then for rare, I finally made my decision. 2 gigantic spawns of chaos, spawns of corn. I like impact hits, and I like killing blow. And correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but it affects impact hits, stomps, and his regular attacks. So killing blow times 50 is pretty badass. I like running them in tandem, although I will run them separate if I can, or if I have to. But running these guys together into a brick of anything, that's exciting. With the exception of maybe a dragon. But who wants to fight a dragon? Be honest. Here's my opponent's list, and this is my buddy Rathgar's Wood Elf list. He has tweaked it, he's updated it. She's even prettier now. All AI, gotta love it. He's got 829 points of characters, starting with his Glade Lord, which is his general. He's got light armor, longbow, the Forest Dragon, the Talisman of Protection, Spear of Twilight, a Befuddlement of Mischiefs, and an Annoyance of Netlings. I mean, really, he's got a dragon. Although, the Spear of Twilight is terrifying. Always wounding on 3s. That's rough. Then, of course, he's got his Spellweaver, Pouty Lips, the true hero of the army. She's on an Elven Steed, level 4 wizard with battle magic. She's got the Oaken Staff and the Ruby Ring of Ruin. She also has the Resplendence of Luminescence. For his core, he's got 559 points, starting with 10 Glade Guard with a Musician and Hagbane tips. 7 Glade Riders with Cavalry Spears, Longbows, Reserve Move, Musician, and Hagbane tips. And then 2 units of 9 Deepwood Scouts, also with Hagbane tips. I mean, Poison is excellent. I don't fault him for this at all. For his special choices, he's got the 20 Wildwood Rangers, which is kind of mandatory at this point. They're really an amazing unit. Standard Bear, Light Armor Shields, and a War Banner. And they've got their glaives, but I think that's standard. Then he's got 5 Wild Riders with Light Armor Shield and the Hunting Spear, and then 5 Sisters of the Thorn with full command Blackbriar Javelins. Yeah, they're just a mobile level 2 wizard, really.
Here are the spells I got for this one. We're looking at the Summoning, Blue Flame, Fleshy Abundance, Acquiescence, and Demonic Vigor. And then on the Puppet Master, I got Blue Flame and Fireball, which is the perfect combo for him. For my opponent, Pouty Lips got the Summoning, Arrow Attraction, Pillar of Flame, and Arcane Urgency, and then his sisters took Pillar of Flame. And here's deployment. On my left flank there, I put both of my spawns in the woods. I figured if anything was going to run into his rangers, it would be both of them. And with impact hits and everything like that, I was hoping I would do enough damage to negate the attacks and then beat them up, or at least negate as many as I could, take what lumps I had to, and then, dual stomp 2d6, strength 6, AP 2 stomps into a toughness 3 or 4 unit. I should be able to murder a lot of them rolling average. That was the hope. You'll see how that goes. I have the Forsaken right next to him because I was going to park him outside the woods and see how close his rangers got. I figured if he entered into the woods, I could charge him, and I don't care about the woods when it comes to charging with the spawns, so I figured I had the advantage there. But Puppet Master's right behind him because I thought, when I saw where he put his Glade Riders, that's where his caster was going to go, but that wasn't it. He outsmarted me, which is typical. I mean, that's common. Let's be honest. He's much better at this than I am. In the middle there, I've got my dogs with my knights. And then on the right flank, I have my Lord Tremendous, my level 4 caster, Lord Audacious on his mana core, and the best damn Dragon Ogre to ever exist. Their job is to just get into combat with whoever they can and kill them, while the level 4 just throws as many magic missiles into these bastards as he possibly can. I am going to have to move my Puppet Master across the table pretty quick, but we'll see how that goes. On our left side, my opponent's right flank are his Rangers, next to his Glade Riders, next to his Glade Guard. And then on our right side, his left, he's got both his units of Scouts. Behind the woods are his Wild Riders, Pouty Lips, and his Glade Lord, who whooped Inametagacy's ass last time we saw him. And then the sisters are right in front of him, getting ready to do whatever it is they're going to do. But that's it for deployment. Here's top of one after movement, and he got to go first. Of course he got to go first. That's usually how it goes. But not a ton of movement, actually, for Wood Elves. His Rangers come up a little bit to bait my guys, my spawn mainly. And I get what he's doing there. I figure I'll play the same game as him. In the center, his Glade Riders move over to try to reunite with Pouty Lips. I get that. His Glade Guard, I don't think they have to move, so they don't. The Scouts don't move, and his Lord comes trundling up a little bit. I have no interest in fighting him when he's at full strength, so I'm going to leave him alone and try to shoot him with magic missiles or whatever's convenient when the opportune time comes. Other than that, his sisters move up slightly, I think, and Pouty Lips goes into the woods to do whatever it is she's going to do. That's it for movement. In the shooting phase, in a particularly heinous move by the Elves, after getting Pillar of Flame and Tree Singing up, they took pot shots at my dogs and murdered one. We literally have done nothing, and they put up woods, they put up this big pillar of flame, and they kill one of my dogs. That is not how you say hi to somebody who's coming to your block party. It's just not how you do it. And then on my left flank, the Glade Guard fire at the Forsaken. It's because they look different. That's what it is. These are some racist-ass elves, let me tell you. 2 Forsaken die because of their bigotry. Nothing else happens in his turn, so here's bottom of 1 after movement, and yeah, I move forward. I get Fleshy Abundance off on Lord Tremendous. The Forsaken move up a little bit with, honestly, the Puppet Master's just kind of using him as a screen right now. I don't feel like getting shot off the table. The Spawn move up slightly. I didn't roll great for him. I mean, I would have had to roll out of the box in order to hit the Ranger, so I wouldn't have gone either way. But I do move up a little bit. I should have probably moved up a little bit further. What I didn't want him to do was fire forward and stop me from being able to get impact hits. That was the real strength. I knew he knew that, and I was more than happy to just basically save both of our points and just leave them on the left flank there. That's why the Forsaken started moving. I didn't want him to touch the woods just in case he made some kind of insane charge. But yeah, that's kind of where I was going with it. In the center, the dogs, the knights all move up, the Lord moves up, and the Dragon Ogre moves back a little bit. He couldn't get out of the charge arc of his Lord, so I didn't want him fighting a dragon. I just didn't see that going well for him, and yeah, that's really it. I did nothing for the rest of my turn, so we go over here to top of 2 after movement, and there's some... His, what's it called? His scouts move around the trees so they're not easily charged by my Lord. I'm going to try to take the thing down next turn, but we'll see how that goes. Yeah, his Lord just kind of readjusts a little bit to countercharge my Lord. I knew it was coming. I probably should have done something different. I didn't. And I have an idea what I should have done now. I made mistakes. You'll see in a minute. Really, that's it, though. I mean, his Rangers stay put, his Glade Riders stay, everything mostly stays put. His sisters come forward a little bit, and Pouty Lips moves over to the bottom right of the woods in his deployment phase. That's really it. And we go into shooting, and his Glade Guard open up on the Knights and kill 2 of them. I couldn't believe it. Seriously? Zip your armor up, guys. Come on. We're here for battle. You're making me look bad in front of the Elves. And then the scouts shoot at him. They could see him at the time and kill 3 more. 5 Knights in 2 volleys of shooting. It's straight 3 shots, full save. Unreal. And then the final unit of scouts shoot at the Dragon Ogre and put a wound on him. He's got a 2-up armor save. I think he only wounded twice, and I rolled a 1 and a 4. Just devastating. Like, I don't know why we decided to wear shirtless armor, but it is not a good choice. Wear the chest piece, people. Wear the chest piece. There's no combat, so we go over here to bottom of 2, and the first thing that happens is his Pillar of Flame goes through my dogs and murders the rest of them. It hit the Knight too, but he was able to actually save, so he's okay. But yeah, the dogs are gone, and that just proves that elves are terrible people. My Knight, my 1 remaining Knight, charges into the Glade Guard. They stand and shoot, but he actually survived that. What a chaotic game. And so because of that, my spawn on the left side, again, neither of them rolled high enough to hit the Rangers. I'm kind of itching for a fight at this point, so if I had rolled the 17 or an 18 and would have been able to make it, I would have. I do move the spawn up a little bit, but not enough for him to move forward 10 inches and stop my impact hits. The Forsaken and the Puppet Master move towards the center to fight because that's where it's at. The Dragon Ogre moves up now that his Lord is no longer facing him, and I make a terrible stupid mistake. I charged his scouts, and I thought maybe if I rolled high enough, I could get out of his charge arc. So I rolled with Swift Stride, and I ended up in the perfect shot for him to flank charge me. If I'd moved a little bit further, he would have been able to get a rear charge. It was stupid. I should have flown off into the woods, turned to face, and then had my choice, put him on the back foot, and then played a cat and mouse game for the rest of the game. But no, I'm stupid, and it is what it is. The one thing I am proud of, though, is where I put Lord Tremendous. He's on the hill on his demonic mount behind the woods. He's going to try to get rid of some scouts, sisters, and maybe even a lord on a dragon, given the opportunity. That's it for movement, though. Literally nothing else happens in the magic phase or shooting. I try to get my spells off, but that Oaken Staff, and she's sitting in the middle of the woods, she stopped everything. Pouty Lips, I love and hate her in equal measure. So we go into combat, and my knight, he does kill 2, he takes no wounds, he wins, they give ground, and I pursue into them, follow up anyway, just to make sure that they're not getting away. He wants revenge for his 5 dead idiot brothers. Combat wrapped up. Here's top of 3 after movement, and it's kind of bad. His lord charges into my lord. I thought about fleeing, but the angle probably would have taken me right off the table. That's no good. I did forget to mention that when he charged the scouts, they fled off the table, so yay, I got scouts. But anyway, back to this turn. I'm a little excited about this. This is bad, don't get me wrong. I know it's really bad that his lord charged mine. He's a elf lord on a dragon. It doesn't get much worse than that. But I'm excited about it at the same time because I want to see how this kit deals with something so overwhelming like this. He is still a Chaos Lord. He is still Bat. So I'm hoping that he can pull this out. But either way, it'll be a really good test of the kit and his abilities. Other than that, the only thing that really happens is his sisters shoot down. They're in marching formation, so they shoot down past the Dragon Ogre and spin around and face Lord Tremendous, which I think is really ballsy of them because he can whoop their ass. He's a Sorcerer Lord, sure, but he's still a Chaos Sorcerer Lord. So bring it on, sisters. Let's see what happens there. That's really it, though, for movement. I think the only other thing is Pouty Lips moves up towards the Glade Riders just to kind of rejoin them next turn. And everything else pretty much stands in place. In the shooting phase, this unit of scouts fires off at the Dragon Ogre, putting another wound on him, which he's just about friggin' tired of that. And then we go into combat. It doesn't go great. I fail to hurt him at all. He puts 2 wounds into me, plus he's got a flank. We both have close order, so it kind of cancels each other out. He ends up winning by 3, and I end up falling back in good order, and that actually sucks. I can't turn. I run into the impassable terrain, and there's no way for me to pivot that puts my front arc in his. So all I can do is continue to give him my flank. Oh, talk about being outplayed because I'm an idiot. Don't get me wrong. My opponent is very good. I have no problem with being outplayed by him, but oh my God, if he set this up any better, I'd owe him money. In combat over here, my knight is making a pay. 2 more die. I win by 2, and they just end up giving ground. They are within range of their general's leadership now, so that helps, but he's rolling pretty low for leadership. So yeah, they just give ground, and I pursue because no, they're not getting away that easy. That takes over the bottom of 3, and I'm trying. I do move up one of my spawn just a little to try to bait the Rangers a little bit. I'm starting to get the idea that maybe I should take the other one and shoot him towards the middle of the board to try to get into this fight. My Dragon Ogre does charge the scouts who fire and flee, and of course he rolls a 5 or a 6 to get away. He doesn't even come close. I think I rolled Snake Eyes to charge him. So honestly, even if they had stayed put and just stood and shot, I would have missed. So yeah, the dice gods like to bend me over a counter sometimes. The only thing that I did that I'm kind of happy with is I moved Lord Tremendous back behind a hill in order to deal with the sisters, because I figure either I'm going to kill them or they're going to kill me. Either way, someone's going to die, and I'm here for it. Other than that, the Forsaken and the Puppet Master move forward to try to get into this fight, and that's it for movement. In the magical shooting phase, the Puppet Master uses his fireball on the scouts that are fleeing, and I think he kills 1 or 2, not many. But over here, Lord Tremendous shoots them with the summoning. It goes off because I'm like 28, 29 inches away from his caster. Yeah, she's going to have the ability to get whatever spells off she wants. I don't care. I hit them with the summoning. I do like 11 hits, 8 wounds, 5 get through. They're all dead. Oh, it felt good to listen to them scream. We go into combat, and as is tradition now, the Chaos Unit Champion kills 2 archers, and they do nothing in return. They give ground, and I follow up. I mean, everything is traditional now. We're very much all for it. If everything holds, I should only have to fight them for 2 more rounds. Over here. Oh, Audacious, you miserable fuck. Hit the elf, you idiot. I swear to God, I literally do nothing. He's got like 5, or he does 2 more wounds. I saved 3 with regen, so he's got 5, or I say 2 with regen. I'm up to 5 wounds and a flank. He wins by 5 because I can't do anything to him. I fall back in good order, but I'm stuck. I touch the terrain and I stop. I sit right there. I mean, at least he's not breaking and fleeing. I'll give Audacious that. But the audacity to just stand there and not do anything to this guy is really starting to piss me off. So I screw up, obviously, and I don't get a picture of top of turn 4 after movement. Things were happening and I was getting scared. What I can tell you, though, is that his Wild Riders charged into the Dragon Ogre and made it. His Glade Riders and Pouty Lips formed up into a unit. His Scouts rally, and that's really it. His Rangers don't do anything. I'm pretty sure that was it for movement. In the shooting phase, I can't remember if it's the Scouts or the Glade Riders. I'm pretty sure it's the Scouts. They fire at Puppet Master, and they do a decent amount of wounds to him, but he saves all but 1. So he's half alive right now because I'm going to be optimistic. Nothing else happens in the shooting phase, so we go into combat, and his Wild Riders devastate my poor Dragon Ogre. He didn't even know what hit him. They're frenzied, so they overrun, and then he's able to pass his leadership check to turn in place and face Lord Tremendous. I'm less eager about that charge, I gotta be honest with you. Like, I'd let him fight the sisters, but the Wild Riders? Ugh. Now, that being said, Lord Tremendous is packing heat, so maybe I could just kill him off before that's even a threat. We'll see. In combat over here, I finally do something. I think maybe I put 2 wounds on him last turn and I forgot, but the rant was fun, so I'm going to leave it the way it is. He ends up taking another wound. I put 2 more on my opponent. I did 2 wounds. He did a wound and a flank. We both have 2 combat res. Neither of us can carry a tune, so we just stand there. This is actually turning into a better fight than I was expecting. I am a little pissed off I'm not doing more damage, but that's because I'm a filthy entitled brat. And then this combat, the unit champion kills 1, and then he gets murdered for his trouble. The Glade Guards survive. Oh, it makes me feel dirty even saying it. With that, we go over here to bottom of turn 4, and look at me, I remembered to take a picture. I'm so proud of me. Not a whole lot. My Forsaken move forward like they're going to do something about the dragon, right? They're just eager to get into this fight. My Puppet Master Mage moves back a little bit because I cannot abide by the fact that those 3 archers survived. They have to die, and he's the one to do it. The one spawn fires forward, like 7 inches, 8 inches, not very far, but he wants to get into this fight, and Lord Tremendous moves forward just a little bit to try to put some serious damage on the Wild Riders. I'm going to use Blue Flame and the summoning on them, and then I'm going to try to hit the Glade Riders, who he left in the woods a little bit, with his Fireball, with the Ruby Ring of Ruin, and see what I can do there. That is it for my movement. We go into magic, and this magnificent bastard hits those little bastard Glade Guard with Blue Flame and turns them into dust. Oh, the dark gods will it.
There must be war. God wills it!
Then Lord Tremendous fires off the summoning into the Wild Riders and just obliterates them as well. Oh, it was a glorious magic phase. It really was. And that takes us into combat, and Lord Tremendous heard my whining, and he got 6 wounds total, not anymore, into him, and he only took 1 for his trouble. I did 2, he did 1, and as a flank, we're tied, and neither of us can whistle, so we stay right where we're at. This is actually a lot better than I thought he was going to do, to be perfectly honest. Getting him down to 6 out of 9 wounds, especially considering he's charging the flank. If it wasn't for the flank, he'd be winning combat right now. How awesome is that? It ends on a nail biter, so here's top of 5, and oh man, his pillar of flame is bouncing through the puppet master. It can't kill him, but it's certainly trying. Other than that, though, his scouts pretty much stay still. They're going to keep shooting at the Forsaken, which I think they did last turn. I forgot to take a picture of it. As you can see, I'm down to, 10 out of 14 or 15, so he's killed a handful. Not a big deal. His Glade Riders with his Sorcerer, Pouty Lips moves up to try to take some pot shots at Lord Tremendous. And that's it for movement because his Rangers aren't moving anywhere. In the shooting phase, his Glade Riders, I think, open up on Lord Tremendous, maybe even his caster, I can't remember, and ends up just getting 1 wound through, which honestly isn't bad. We go into combat and it finally happens. Lord Audacious gets his face caved in. It's too bad. He did really well. He actually put another wound on him before he died. But yeah, he went down. But this was a hell of a fight, and all things considered, he did really well. I'm excited about the kit. I think I know how I want to tweak it, because I definitely want to tweak it, but I'm happy with the overall results. This is awesome. That being said, the Prince, Lord, whatever, Glade Lord is 2 wounds away from being dead himself. That's magic missile numbers right there. And I've got a few left on the table. My opponent is able to restrain and then turn to face the Forsaken, who probably aren't going to go in there unless they absolutely have to. So here's bottom of 5 after movement, and let me just tell you, nothing happens. My spawn moves up and kind of gets ready to countercharge a dragon. I figure he's going to go into the Forsaken. My Puppet Master moves back just to keep him in range to fire some magic missiles at him. Lord Tremendous moves back onto the hill to try to fire some magic missiles at him. And long story short, nothing gets through. I hit him a whole bunch, but it's not enough to actually do any damage, which is a shame. So we go to top of 6, and he actually throws me for a loop here. He charged over the Forsaken and into the Puppet Master. I don't fully understand why the Forsaken were worth more. Maybe it was because it was more attacks and they had a chance to slip through. I don't know. But he did it, and honestly, I was like, Puppet Master's not going to flee. I don't care. Because I figured if he fled, he would just redirect into the Forsaken and kill him anyway. So Puppet Master's 196 points. The Forsaken are 285. If I have to sacrifice something, the thing that's almost 90 points cheaper makes more sense. I wasn't sure what the points were going to be at the end. I know it was close, so that's why I decided to make that sacrifice. Besides, Puppet Master might surprise me. He's got a 5-up ward save. Who knows? On the other side, his Rangers do move up to within an inch of my spawn, which is hilarious. There's no reason to go into that whatsoever. And his scouts and Glade Riders just kind of move up to look at Lord Tremendous on the hill and see if they can kill him before the end of the game. That's it for movement. In the shooting phase, everything fires at Lord Tremendous that can and puts a single wound on him, which is totally fine. I'm going to get some revenge. With that, we go into the combat phase, and yeah, the Puppet Master couldn't do it. He tried, he really tried. No, he got ripped to pieces. Didn't make any saves, just got myrtleized. And yeah, that was bound to happen, is what it is. He does choose to overrun and goes forward like 6-7 inches. He didn't roll real high, but he does end up a little bit further. And it was to get away from the gigantic spawn that was right there, which I could still hit him if I rolled high enough. So yeah, we go to bottom of 6, and I'm like, do I shoot at him and try to get those 2 wounds through, or do I send the spawn in? Because I rolled like a 15 on the spawn. Finally, right? I roll really high. I end up deciding the spawn should go in. He's got impact hits. He's got, strength 6. He's not going to killing blow him, but maybe he can slip 2 more wounds through. It's worth a shot, so I put him in there, figuring why not. Otherwise, the Lord Tremendous moves up a little bit to try to shoot at the scouts and maybe get an angle shot at the Glade Riders. Maybe I could do enough to force a panic. They're right by the edge. If they panic, they're gone. That's as good as dead. And yeah, everything else stays pretty much right where it's at. The Pillar Flame bounces through the Forsaken, kills another 1 or 2. Who cares? And that's it for movement. In the magic phase, Lord Tremendous is able to get the summoning off on the scouts and murder the rest of them. So none of the scouts will be at the victory party at the end of this game. Who cares? We go into combat, and if you can believe it, not only do I do all three impact hits, he's got D3, all 3 wound, and he makes all 3 saves. That sucked. But in combat, I know it shows 7 wounds here. We made a mistake. My opponent caught it. We thought he needed 5s, but since it wasn't a challenge, he actually needed 4s to hit. So 1 hit did get through, a wound got through, and he actually took 1 more wound and then obliterated the poor Spawn, killing him outright. That sucked. And that's it. That's the end of the game. It turned out to be quite an impressive defeat for Lord Tremendous. It doesn't look like it. Well, maybe it does a little bit. But yeah, I ended up getting like 700 points out of him. He got a little over 1,200 out of me. I just couldn't seal the deal. And just to prove that I'm not lying to you, if you look at the dragon on the table, he does have 8 wounds on him now. So I was 1 away from, honestly, either a draw or a victory. I'm not sure exactly, but it would have been a lot closer. So maybe I should have shot at him, maybe not. He was making his saves, doesn't really matter. This is what happened, and honestly, fantastic game. Really, really fun, really, really close, or it felt really, really close, and I enjoyed every minute of it. Pouty Face eluded me one more time, but eventually, statistically, I'll kill her, and that's really what it's all about. I'm excited to get in the recap, so let's get to it.
Oh, so what can I say? That was a hell of a fight. Lord Audacious made a hell of a good show, especially for his name game, you know? He was definitely audacious the entire time. I almost got his Lord, relatively speaking. If I only could have gotten away from that flank, I actually would have won a couple of combats, had nothing else changed because of the direction. But he did really, really well, and it just proved to me that it was a solid kit. It was my mistake, and I deserved to lose that combat. I need to play smarter. But it's, it was still, I enjoyed the fight. That all being said, magic missiles are king. Having 5 of them this game really was a lot of fun. I did unfortunately place my Puppet Master poorly, so he really didn't come into effect until late in the game. But I like the kit. I like the way it was. I just need to place him better. I should have probably marched him across. I was just afraid to get him shot off the table. Next time. That standoff between the Spawn and the Rangers, neither of us would get close enough to allow the other to charge, so that was actually a lot of fun, and honestly, I would have lost my Spawn had I not gotten impact hits when I charged him in. I might have still lost him even with impact hits, but that was the gamble that I was making. More Wood Elves are dead, so the battle wasn't a total loss. We'll get into the pile in just a minute. And honestly, I really wish I could have just done 1 more wound to the Glade Lord, but who doesn't, right? Who doesn't? That all being said, loss or not, more Wood Elves are dead, and let's go over the new tallies. So I didn't kill any of his characters because, well, I played poorly. However, in core, I did get 18 more Deepwood Scouts, bringing my total up to 67, 10 more Glade Guard, some of the scariest Glade Guard to ever show up on the field, so I'm glad they're all dead. I'm almost broke 100 now. That's exciting. No Glade Riders, unfortunately. They stayed behind the woods the whole time. I tried. I took shots where I could. I just couldn't drop any. And then in Special, I got his Sisters, bringing my total up to 20, and his Wild Riders, bringing my total up to 36. I'm doing some decent damage to the Wild Rider census, and I feel good about that. There were no Treekin, so whatever. And then, of course, nothing else was on the table that I was able to kill, so the rest of my numbers stay still. And just because I like to look at it, look at the Tomb King numbers. Still paltry. I need to fight more undead. Here's to take a look at the Bretonnian and High Elf numbers. Still proud of those. They need to do better. I need to do better. But once I run into more, I will be sure to add to these numbers. No updates here. Just like to show off my numbers. And there's some Chaos Dwarves and Orcs and Goblins. I'd love to fight some more Orcs and Goblins someday. It really got to bump those numbers up. And that's it. Another battle report is in the history books. As always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, feel free to put them in the comment section below, and I will get back to you as quick as I can. And as always, thanks!